Tonight, a Beaufort man is the island's latest suspected suicide case. The Health Ministry urges members of the public to use the 203 National Helpline when dealing with depression or suicidal thoughts. And the National Council on Public Transportation and the Chief Medical Officer have yet to decide on the way forward for school buses once school reopens. That and more coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Monday, the 31st of August, 2020. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. The island has been rocked yet again by news of a suicide case. A Beaufort man was found suspended from the rafters of a wooden structure situated at New Dock Lane. He has been identified as Ignatius Joseph, also called Indian. At about 3:15 p.m. on Sunday, emergency first responders were summoned to the area where they found Joseph's lifeless body. An investigation is underway and we will have more details on this matter in a subsequent newscast. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is asking St. Lucians to use the National Helpline 203 to get the necessary support to overcome challenging mental and emotional issues. More in this report.
St. Lucians are urged to utilize the National Helpline, telephone number 203, which is expected to provide support to people in suicidal crisis or emotional distress. Counselor of the St. Lucia National Mental Wellness Center, Chanel Eli Box, spoke on the process for accessing the services available through the National Helpline.
You simply press 203 and you press call. You could use a landline, you can use a mobile phone, and it is free. And like I said, it is 24/7. So as long as you call, you'll be connected to a call responder. And from there, the call responder will assess to see what issues a person may be experiencing and to connect them to the necessary services. Those services could be anything from psychological services to psychiatric services or a myriad of other services offered on the island. So as long as you call, your information is fully confidential and you speak to the call responder will not identify themselves. However, you can communicate with them. I know that's something that makes persons feel a little bit uncomfortable, that they don't know who they're speaking to, but these are trained professionals who will keep anything that you say to them confidential, and they will try as best as possible to connect you to the services that you're comfortable with, and they will explain what they're doing as well.
Eli Box also appealed to individuals or family members who may have someone experiencing an emotional crisis to use the National Helpline to speak to a professional.
Oftentimes, persons think that the person who's experiencing the thoughts should be the one to call. However, if you have noticed any signs or symptoms of someone experiencing mental health concerns, you can call on their behalf. And actually, if you call and you don't want to disclose that you were the one who called, you could just simply let the call responder know that I just want you to contact this person, I'm concerned about them, and they wouldn't even disclose that you were the one who called. Eliminating suicide is a communal effort. We need each person to notice the signs and the symptoms, and those things range from persons posting about death, persons talking about wanting to kill themselves, experiencing hopelessness, a loss of purpose. All of those things count as warning signs, and if someone is communicating those things to you, or posting it on social media, by all means, please call the helpline. It's a free call. It's 24/7 and it doesn't cost you anything.
The National Helpline, telephone number 203, is a free and confidential service available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Reporting from the Communications Unit of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, I am Fernal Neptune.
The National Workers Union, NWU, says it will put up a fight to ensure that the workers which it represents at the Windward Islands Packaging Company Limited, Winera, do not lose their livelihood. The organization has been made aware of a move to import plastic crates into St. Lucia. The union says its position is clear. It will not support the importation of plastic crates into the country as a replacement for the corrugated cardboard boxes. Genevieve Gonzang tells us more in this report.
The St. Lucia National Workers Union, NWU, says it has been reliably informed that a plan is being hatched to import plastic crates into St. Lucia. On Monday, the Secretary General of the NWU, Johan Hayward, informed Hot 7 that the union is not going to stand for this, as that would mean that hundreds of people currently employed with Winnera would be placed on the breadline.
The staff complement there is well over 100, so you could only well imagine the economic impact that a decision like that will have. It will destroy several lives, if you want to put it that way. The company, the economy of the South, that company has contributed significantly over the years to the economy of Vieux Fort and its environs. So that is not something we will support. We have made our position on that particular matter abundantly clear as far back as last year to the Prime Minister, the Ministers of Agriculture, Trade, etc., as well as the board of Winnera, which encompasses representatives from Dominica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Grenada, as well as Venezuela. So that is something we have indicated that we will not support.
The union has made the argument that Winnera plays a vital role in the economic viability of the South. The argument to switch to plastic crates was made in 2019 as well. However, Haywood says the preservation of the job of its membership is paramount.
We have indicated that whatever interventions that the NWU on behalf of the workers of Winnera is called upon to do, we will do that to ensure that these jobs are maintained and persons behind the scenes are not just allowed to do as they please.
Haywood says, in a time like this, it would be unconscionable to try to get rid of workers in such a fashion. The NWU says they are of the belief that there may be some sort of ulterior motive for the switch at such a juncture.
I don't believe any sort of critical analysis of CBA kind of analysis was done to show importation would be cheaper than local production. We don't believe that thing was done. Clearly what is happening, or what we suspect is in train, is one or two special interests, or people with their own personal agenda want to go in that direction to suit themselves and themselves alone. So that is not something that we feel that is in the interests of the workers, the rank and file workers, and we are going to make ourselves heard on that particular point, rest assured.
The NWU has informed that they will keep their ears on the ground and continue to investigate whether such a switch will be made. However, they are adamant that they will fight tooth and nail to protect the job of workers. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
According to the president of the National Council on Public Transportation, Godfrey Ferdinand, the council is set to meet with the chief medical officer to discuss a way forward for the transport sector ahead of the reopening of school. The NCOPT is deeply concerned about the impact of passenger limits on students who commute from the south of the island to the north for school. The NCOPT president says for the sake of many students across the island, some common ground has to be achieved, and soon. Shaka Wooding reports.
With the 2020-2021 school year set to commence on September 7th, all hands are on deck to ensure the safe return of students to the classroom. As detailed by President of the National Council on Public Transportation, Godfrey Ferdinand, public transport plays an imperative role in the movement of students to and from school. He says this reality has guided stakeholder discussions and the development of plans to adapt the transport sector to support the needs of the public and the returning students. He says the NCOPT has discussed with its membership and will meet the chief medical officer to review the existing transport protocols with proposals in hand.
We are hoping to have this meeting this week with the CMO, the CTO, Ministry of Education and Police. When these sectors meet, we will review the protocol, see if there is any changes that needs to be done, and then we will communicate it to the public as well as the members of the National Council on Public Transport.
Ferdinand says the NCOPT continues to push for a revision of the capacity limitations which currently guide minibus operations. He noted that in the case of buses which carry students from the south of the island to the north to attend school, there are many difficulties for drivers to meet these protocols, given that in most cases, every seat has been reserved from the previous school year, when these protocols did not yet exist.
We've been in discussion for the past 2 months with the CMO in reference to capacity, and we are looking and want the change. However, we'll still wait on her position on it before we can actually say something. So hence the reason the meeting will actually address this issue.
Ferdinand says the new structure of the school week, which was explained during the Department of Education's presentation of the proposed reopening, will also help determine the future of minibus rotations on the various routes.
I know, like yesterday or last night, I was at a meeting in one of the associations that was addressing some of these issues. I mean, you have free working days in terms where you have a larger capacity, and the other 2 days are very low. And with rotations, it means that some persons will get the bad end of the stick. So the associations are looking at how to review it so it could be evenly distributed among the members in reference to the rotation and how persons will, or should I say the operators will benefit with the 3 days.
The NCOPT president urges minibus operators to continue to adhere to the relevant protocols until advised otherwise by the NCOPT or the Department of Environmental Health. Jacques Wooding, Hot 7 News.
You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Still to come, a call for greater focus on colon health following the shocking death of actor Chadwick Boseman. A hotel general manager says he is keeping the optimism alive for a tourism rebound despite the challenges of COVID-19. And all the buzz about St. Lucia's newest mural at Point Seraphim. That and more coming up after the break.